video! Hey guys, so in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some of the animals that arrived in the Tarantula Canada Vancouver group shipment. Tempest, actually, lovely lady behind the camera, headlined the shipment and received a ton of animals for people. So ourselves and many other Vancouverites took advantage of the opportunity to get a big discount on shipping. Thank you, Tarantula Canada, and got some critters. So here we're going to show you some of the animals that I picked up and what she got. For me, it was a bit nostalgic, if you will. I got some very cool scorpions. The Pandinus imperator, the emperor scorpions, finally became available again after many years of being unavailable because of CITES quotas and a ban on exporting the animals. And at least in Canada, it's very, very hard, I think, due to the very affordable availability of the animals being wild caught. Really sucks. No one was really focusing on captive breeding these guys, and they kind of just dropped off the face of the planet. So Tarantula Canada suddenly was able to acquire some and had them listed available. So I asked Martin and Amanda if they could graciously try to tentatively sex me a male and 2 females. So I got a trio of these awesome scorpions. The reason it's nostalgic for me, I guess I didn't mention that, was because if you see some of my early videos, kind of cringe. I used to keep emperor scorpions, and one of my oldest videos is me doing a tutorial on how I kept my emperor scorpion. Hello everybody. So I've had a request from Thund3R Skunk, I hope I said that right, to do a care video on Pandinus imperator, which is the emperor scorpion. So that's how they eat. But they're very, very interesting. And that video is so wrong. I keep it up there for like old time's sake and seeing the old stuff. I actually should change the description and say do not keep your scorpion like this. I just have this video up, or maybe I'll make it private, whatever. But yeah, so in this video we're going to look at the animals and also house them in sort of makeshift temporary quarantine slash, like the enclosures will work, but I like to soup them up a bit more. So we're going to make them more dynamic in time, but it'll cover the basics for what they need. You know, the hide, water dish, the substrate with humidity, etc. One thing I want to touch on briefly is that a lot of people think it's really lame to keep animals in bins. I agree to an extent. I think it depends on the type of animal. One thing to consider is that, yes, you can keep an animal in a glass tank. If it has nothing to do with the size, though, it really doesn't matter. The animal's going to feel just as safe or comfortable in a plastic tub as it is in a glass enclosure if it's, let's say, a scorpion or a tarantula. You know, people say it should be in a nice glass tank. Yeah, sure, it looks pleasing for you because you can see into the enclosure and it's presentable, the presentation's there. But they might even feel safer in a plastic bin because they're not seeing out everywhere and there's less movement noticeable to certain types of animals. So keep that in mind. Well, certain species actually prefer to keep them in bins instead of glass tanks because I think the main reason is that it's a lot more affordable, but it doesn't have any harmful effect on the animal's well-being so long as all the parameters necessary for their health are being kept and met. So that all being said, these guys are going into bins, and I hope you enjoy this video. Let's take a look at what we got here. So the first animals I want to show you guys are the 2 freebies that were received. We have a Brachypelma albopilosum and a Kochiana brunnipes. So these are the sweet little slings we got. Thank you so much to Martin and Amanda for the freebies. Can't go wrong getting another awesome little Brachypelma albopilosum under and curly hair. You can kind of see them. It's hard, but you can see the book lungs there. So just like a little tiny sling. There's my finger. And they did some burrowing, so you can see there. And then we have the next sling, who is super tiny.
My favorite. They're so cute.
That one is Tempest's. Oh my gosh. To give you an idea, that's a springtail. on the ground, and then there's the spiderling. So they are very small.
But next up is even smaller.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the freebies. Now, a really cool arachnid that I wanted to get my hands on is the Charinus acosta. It's a type of whip scorpion. And so I got one of these off them.
They're parthenogenic.
Which is super cool, and that means that they can reproduce asexually, or they do, not just they can. And so here is the tiny little animal, which happened to molt on its way here. You can actually see the molt on the styrofoam there at the bottom, which indicates how small the organism you're about to see is. Oh boy. Yeah. Hello, little one. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Yup. Just a little peep squeak, aren't ya? Come back. I want to show the world how small you are. Hi there. Yeah, so this is them. And again, like, scary small. I put some springtails into the enclosure, and I hope that she's going to eat those. But yeah, that's her. Little. Very, very little. I'll gently put her back in her enclosure, which will be this pill vial for now until she gets moved into a little naturalistic glass terrarium sort of bowl with some plants.
And the next sling is something that I got, and they are absolutely adorable, and I gotta say their threat posture or their scared posture is just so cute and precious. They stick their bum way up in their air with their little back two legs sticking out. So this is a Thrixopelma ockerti. It is known as a Peruvian red rump.
Beautiful.
She got little socks, and she got a fat little bum.
Very nice. Very, very fuzzy spider, happy after eating a pretty big cricket. Next up is a old world species I've been wanting to get my hands on for quite some time. The Ornithoctonus aureotibialis, or bialis. I suck at pronouncing this Latin name, but hey, I think I got it. Yeah, I think so. So we'll gently remove the lid so you guys can take a look, just in case the animal bolts, seeing as it is old world. You know, let's just have it in a container to make things hopefully go a little better than they could if things don't go well, if that makes sense.
We also have a catch cup ready just in case.
Yes, yes.
It's always better safe than sorry, no matter how comfortable or how much experience you have.
But alas, here is this gorgeous spider, like, oh, hello there. Very beautiful. Actually, we could try giving it a cricket, see if it's hungry. Why not? Alright, here goes. Nice. Awesome. It's a happy spood. Beautiful. So yeah, really looking forward to this animal growing and gaining that incredible color. And as the video goes, you'll see I've inserted Tarantula Canada's respective photos of each specimen that we ordered from them, so you can kind of get an idea of what the adult animals look like, especially for the adult female representation. So really hoping this is a female and not a male, but we will see. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the land lobster pinchy boys. Here we have the male Pandinus imperator, or imperator as I always say. Look at that. Gorgeous animal. Look at those beefy pedipalps. Funny enough, people don't realize that scorpions' pedipalps are actually their pincers. So those are their pedipalps. Give you an idea of the animal's size. It's a big scorpion. larger than the Asian forests. Cut two into the anatomy, but people don't realize that their tails aren't actually a true tail. They have a long segmented body, and that's just a continuation of the segments of their body. So in fact, their anus is up here on the tail. Alright, let's gently coax them out, and then we can take a look at one of the enclosures that they're going to be going into. So this is the male. Now we'll take a look and I'll try to explain why this is sexed as a tentative male scorpion. So I've briefly moved them into a clear deli cup. Now when you look at the animal from below, you're going to see these funky like appendages that look like angel or bird wings. And these plurally are called the pectines on the scorpion. And these organs are interesting. They brush along the ground while the animal's moving, and they have these spines on them. So when you're sexing scorpions, the males will have much longer and larger spines on their pectines than the females do. Let's have a good look here. This is a male scorpion, and then the next frame we cut to, we will show the same view on one of the females that Martin and Amanda sexed for me. So now we're looking at a female, so you can see the difference. Now the pectines are moving along as she does, which is interesting. You can see how they're animated and how they move. So if we compare the two, see the difference. So these animals are of a similar size, but the females look like that. Move over and look at the males in comparison. They're enormous, and the wings on them, the small barbs, are again quite large in comparison. Female, again, it's not for sure, but pretty much for sure. And then the male. So male, female. It's a big scorpion.
Well, shall we rehouse them?
Yes, let's go ahead and do that. So these animals prefer to have a sort of humid and moist environment. Yeah, I know some people hate that word, but alas, there we go, moist. Moist, moist, moist. So here we have a lovely filled water dish. There are plenty of oak leaves, just have some decaying debris and make the enclosure more dynamic and allow them to move through. Also helps with some decomposers in here, so we have some springtails that were added to the enclosure. You can see a few moving around in the soil there. And then there's a hide, which is a fundamental and very important aspect for the animal to feel secure, and enough substrate for them to burrow through. So nice hide on one side, water dish over here. Good sized bin, one animal's going in here. The emperor scorpions are known to potentially be more social, but I'm not willing to risk that right now, especially since I don't know, seeing as these are wild caught, whether or not the females are already gravid. So throwing a male in there might be a really bad idea if she decides to be defensive or aggressive towards him. So I'm not even going to try. They'll be individual for now. So let's go ahead and put the first animal in. How about the male? Here you go, buddy. There you go. Well, that didn't take long. He ran right into his hide. Now he started doing a bit of digging to sort of renovate the place to his liking. So we'll get the lid on there to let him be. And as you can see, there's just a few holes drilled in there so that it doesn't dry out too fast. This can be modified as needed depending where you live. If you're in a pretty hot, humid climate, you may want to cut the screen, or cut a hole out, and glue in some screen so there's more ventilation. Here, because it's the winter right now, I'm going to keep them like this, and there are also holes on the side, keep in mind, for ventilation, but I'm going to keep it like this, and if it does get too humid in there, I will cut this out and add screen for more ventilation. But yeah, that's sort of how we're setting them up. Two of the enclosures are set up already. We'll go ahead and show you how we do one from scratch, and put the last one in right after that. So here's the second enclosure all set up with a hide, and again the leaf litter and the water dish. Alright, here's one of the females going into her enclosure. There you go, girl. Don't know if you're thirsty at all, but here's some water.
Attack the water.
Looks like she's actually enjoying that.
Good little lady.
Look.
It's called a dip and sip.
Oh, it's already dirty. Oh my god, come on. Is that how you're gonna be, eh? Right off the bat. Tough girl over here. Bye!
And she went?
And she went. Alright, let's get the lid on and then set up the last enclosure. Alright, so we have our substrate mix here.
No, start over.
What were you doing?
Just now go.
What'd you do before?
I just zoomed in on your eyes.
Oh my god. Alright, so we have our substrate mix here. Again, this is not a very, I don't know, it's like I'm so used to trying to make things perfect that it's just like, I don't like, these enclosures are going to get a revamping at some point, but this is really good. Because right now I want to see how they're doing, sort of make sure they're hydrated and eating, so it's like a quarantine tank, very simple. Anyways, we have our substrate mix, that's going to go in nicely.
And what is our substrate mix?
Well, it's a mix of peat moss, some soil, there's some sphagnum in there, some cocoa husk, a little bit of decaying wood, some springtails are going to go in. It's very fluffy. Pat it down over here and keep it a little more loose where the shelter or hide is going to be so that the animal can easily get in there and burrow. Cover the sides a bit. There, that should be good. We have our water dish, so you can see some of that wood. As I was saying, there's a water dish that'll go right here. Just trying to keep the bedding out. Throw a few oak leaves, dried oak leaves here. Put one over the entrance of the enclosure, or the cave rather. And there we go, it's quite simple like that. So fill the dish up. Make sure they have fresh water daily, as much as possible, especially since you saw how that other female got it all dirty right away. Little punk. Made her water dirty in 2 seconds. Spill it out and clean it. Little spray down, and voila! Perfect Emperor Scorpion enclosure. Oh, last but not least, sorry. So little culture springtails. So you can see, just gonna pour a few in. Just give them a little shake and gently, they're like floating around on the meniscus. It's like, whoa! Get them to bounce into the enclosure. Just want to get a few in there. They are parthenogenic as well, so they will breed quickly. You can kind of see them bouncing in there. These will help consume mold. As long as the substrate is moist, they'll thrive and they'll break down a lot of the things we don't want in the enclosure. So this female is actually quite large. It is very possible that she is gravid. Hi, girl.
That's not gonna.
Oh, okay. Sorry. She's definitely in a defensive posture. Just gently gonna lower her like this. Coax her out. You okay? Hey, 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 hey.
Listen, lady.
So the faster we do this, the less stress it is, right? If you gently nudge her to coax her out slowly, she's just gonna be more stressed. But here she is. She's out of the enclosure and she's looking good. So there you go, guys.
beautiful emperor scorpions, Pandinus imperator. Now, emperor scorpions actually are, or were, one of the most popular scorpion species in the pet trade. Not only because of their sort of calmer disposition for the most part, despite these females, to be honest, but also because they're a nice large size, they're easy to keep and work with, and because being or seeing as they are venomous animals, all scorpions are venomous, and with varying degrees of venom potency or toxicity, this particular species has a very mild venom, sort of comparable to that of a bee sting, if you will. And they're not very prone to using their venom. Actually, they are more inclined to using physical force to defend themselves in the form of using those pedipalps or pinchers. So they're actually a lot more likely to just pinch you than ever go for the sting. But yeah, so at some point I'm sure I'll be doing an actual care sheet on keeping this species as well as the other species I keep. But they're very easy, like most arachnids. You feed them around once a week, 2-3 crickets or so. Keep them in the warmer temperature range between, like, I'd say 78 to 82 Fahrenheit. They seem to thrive. It doesn't have to be too hot. And just keep their enclosure nice and humid, and they do really well. So, easy species to keep. Welcome to the collection, lady. She's a bit stressed because she's wandering around and trying to climb up. She hasn't found the hide yet. I think I'll give her a hand in a sec here, just so that she can go somewhere she might feel safe. You see her tail moving around like that, it's because she's trying to climb and balance herself like that. See? So if we let her go, she'll climb up the tongues. You can go into the hide, girl. Go in. You're all good. Super happy to have these 3 specimens in the collection now. I'm actually going to be posting all my scorpions video coming up soon. So you guys will see all the scorpions I have in the collection. Tempest scorpions are also going to be featured in the video, so you can see what she's keeping, because she actually has a few, which is awesome. And yeah. But, Tempest and I would also really like to thank Martin and Amanda of Tarantula Canada. I'll add a link to their website down below if you want to check it out. For those of you who are Canadian and you're looking to get arachnids as pets, phenomenal choice for a supplier, and really good friends of ours as well. So really thank you guys. It's always such a joy to purchase animals from you. Amazing quality, and thank you again. Yeah, so it's pretty sweet. Thanks for watching this video, guys. As always, I have more videos coming every week. And if you enjoyed what you saw and you'd like to support my channel, please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button down below. Ding the notification bell to know when my next video is coming out. And hit that like button. Whoa, see? She knew exactly when to say it. Hit that like button if you want to give this girl some positive feedback on how cool she is. Thanks very much for watching, as always. See you guys in another video again soon.